As you were growing up, how did you know you were recognized? What if you did, you got the recognition? And what if you didn't do, you didn't get the recognition? And what did you have to do to get the love of your parent? Okay, so two questions. One, how did you know you were recognized, or what did you have to do for this recognition? Okay, like if you were two siblings, how did you get this recognition? Or if you're in a school of 40 students, how were you recognized? And secondly, how were you loved? What did you have to do to get that love? How did you get your parents' love? What did you have to do for that? How did you know that that's what you have to do to get parents' love? So what are these core values, core narratives that you have with yourself about yourself? And when you attract a negative event in your life, what is the reason that you're doing it? How does that serve your core value? This is a very big question that you ask, and when a client comes for counseling, I definitely ask this question to them. How have you attracted this is my first question. My second question is, what kind of a life have you created? I mean, Dick used to ask this question, I just ask it again. He asked, what kind of a life have you created for which this chaos is essential? Thirdly, I asked, when you are suffering, who do you like to suffer with you? Or through this suffering, whose love are you secretly getting? So there are these four questions that I ask, and more often than never, the client resonates with one of these four. So John Grinder once said, and I repeat, he says, growing up, we eat our parents and their messages like a watermelon, and then we spend the rest of our life spitting their seeds for all the while we live. So this session is a conscious curiosity to look at the different contexts of your life and to find out, hey, can I have a better relationship here? Can I stop suffering here? Can I have a newer possibility to look at things? So these messages were given to us through high emotional states. And it's as though we are in a trance, right? These messages were given to us in a high emotional states. Well, these messages could be positive, could be negative, but they are messages. Maybe it's worked for you, maybe it's not worked for you, but they are messages. And the child begins to believe and perceive that failure to obey these messages and these demands are a threat to his psychological survival. And growing up, we just replace parents and contexts, and we continue to do the same thing in other intimate spaces, in our offices, in teams, in friend circle, in peer group, and everywhere. We'll repeat the same story because we begin to feel that failure to cope with this rule means failure to get recognition, failure to get belongingness, failure to get love, failure to get. Now these narratives, everybody will have a core narrative which runs the overall context of your life, where you may say that I'm not enough or I'm unwanted, okay? Or you'll say that I think it's all because of me, I'm the best, this context runs because of me. Doesn't matter what's the nature of the context, or what doesn't matter what the nature of the narrative is, but the fact that we all have a narrative that runs most contexts of our life. The question is, when you move from context to context, sometimes you suspend certain narratives.